And here we go. Lukas Verner to break in rack number 1. Pounding the rack. Now, we spoke about this earlier in the stream. On the stream, we were talking about using the template and then how hard you're actually contacting the rack there on the break. And we were saying that, there's really no need to hit the rack that hard with a template. If the rack is sitting perfectly, you really just need to execute, pocket the wing ball, and try to send that one ball up table. That's the most advisable way to do things. So, not sure why he's choosing to pound that so hard. But again, sometimes it's not really the player's understanding of what they're doing, or I should say how they're going about doing things. Sometimes you just want to get up there and smack them and say, all right, let's go, off to the races, let's roll. Lukas double checking everything he's got available to him here. He's able to make this one ball. Cue ball's going to have a little bit of heat on it. It's going to go rolling back and forth. But he is able to pocket this ball, and I do intend on seeing him do that. I'm not sure why he went with the bank there. Lukas is usually a very strong banker, to be honest, but not sure why he went for the bank. He did have enough room off the rail to cut that right in. So, I'm not really sure why that was the case. Again, make sure you guys are sharing the stream. Want to make sure everybody can view these matches that we're bringing to you. So make sure we appreciate that. Robert Pierce, get him, Dookie. He's referring to Lukas there. Yeah. Rob, wish you were able to attend. I know you weren't able to make it today. I know you would have been here. We're looking forward to seeing you in the room again soon. Lukas coming back. Not a great look at this 3-ball. No, he really stuck him on that 9-ball, so I think that's why he's not really just getting down and shooting. But I know we had spoke about this earlier, about the level of safe, the safe play, and just having a guy not see the ball clearly is not good enough when you're playing against strong players. It's just not good enough. You got to make sure you freeze them, just like Steve showed you there. And that's why Lukas wasn't able to execute the kick there. Made it very, very difficult to make a legal hit. So Steve Mack sitting pretty decent on the 4-ball. A little bit of traffic. I think he's just going to try to slide, get a view right between the 6 and the 5, which he does. Well done. Just gotta get a good shot at the 6-ball here. If he can execute a good live on the 6-ball, he should be able to win this rack here. Not too much else to contest with as far as obstructions, pockets, etc. No clusters or anything. So You really just got to get good on the 6, and this rack should be history. Little short. Let's see if he has a decent line to shoot it into the corner, and I think he does. I think he's just going to shoot it, twist the ball just a hair. He may elect to roll forward, but ooh, just a little too quick on the execution, I would say. He took his time setting up for it, but a little too quick on the execution, in my opinion. Lucas is going to get another shot at this rack here. Not sure if he's going to cut the ball in or if he's going to play rail first. Excuse me. He's playing outside English, so I think he's just actually cutting the ball here, trying to leave himself underneath the 7. He's going to go back up, and that's going to work out just right for him. Got just enough of an angle so he can stay above the 8 ball. You can see what he's got here. Not a ton of angle, but enough. And that's what he was looking for. Now this is really Lucas's preference. I don't know if he's going to roll above the 9 to shoot it in the side, or if he's just going to go back and forth, shoot it in the corner. And that would have been my route. I like to go above to shoot in the side in that particular situation. And there you have it. Lukas Verner taking rack number 1. And again, this is a winner's side match. It's going to be race to 7. Race to 7. And we are at the 14th annual Larry Lascotti Memorial 9-ball event. Live from Snookers in Providence, Rhode Island. Bringing you the stream courtesy of the Snookers live stream channel. Lots of great things coming from the Snookers live stream channel. Lots of folks signing into the chat there. Make sure you guys are sharing. Share the stream, please. Much appreciated. Going to send it over to the Yale Billiards Listen Info. Lukas Verner, definitely a Yale Billiards player. That's Bobby Hilton's place over in Wallingford, Connecticut. Just about 2 hours from here. Unfortunately, cue ball getting kicked in on the break. At 2-9 is very close together. And it actually looks like they may be frozen. And if they are, it doesn't mean that it's not. It's definitely not wired into the pocket, but it doesn't mean that the combination is not on. If you can really drag the 2 ball across the 9 ball towards that corner, there's an opportunity to make that. But again, these pockets are tight, so you really gotta focus on what your speed is going to be there. If Steve did not have that 7 ball obstructing there, I would expect him to be rolling the 1 ball in and contacting the 2 ball just a hair, leaving that 2-9 combination available. But I'm not sure how he feels about this shot here. Alternatively, you see the line he's cueing there. He may be able to actually bank that 9 ball. And again, this is not called 9, so if that 9 ball drops on this following shot, that's a win. All right, I think he got a little funny on here. Not too bad, but I don't know if he actually can make this happen here. You know, the bank was on, but not with the cue ball in that position. He just sent the 2 ball right into the way of the 9 ball to the pocket. So that wasn't really possible from that perspective there. Diane Parker. Hi, Michael. Hi, how are you? That is my beautiful mother in the chat there. Glad to see you're tuning in. Hope you're enjoying the show. And Steve is going to leave a clear shot at the 2 ball. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that as long as Lukas gets his shape on the 3 ball, this rack is history. A little bit later, we're going to be joined by a few guests. I'm not sure in which order or which they will be, but we will have a few guests in the booth with me. So I'll have some other guys to talk about pool and the likes. You know, Lukas has really come along in the last couple of years. I mean, he's always been a decent player, but he's really coming into it last couple of years, and it's really becoming clear what he's actually capable of. Just in general, just what is this kid capable of? He's only 17 now, I believe. I think he just turned 17, but he is he's very, very talented. He's put a lot of work into pool, but it's just amazing to see what he's actually capable of now. I've seen him play some pretty amazing sets against some top players, and you know, he's got a perfect set in there. He's got it in there, and more over time, we're going to get to see that. But when the kid's focused, he can accomplish quite a bit. Nicely done. Lukas Verner going up 2-0. That's in our race to 7. See Steve helping out, grabbing the balls. That is definitely a gentleman's move. You don't say a word. You just help out. You grab the balls, roll them to the foot of the table for the racker. And that's okay. Again, check out these sponsors right here. This event is being put on by the East Coast Pool Tour and Ship to Cash. We are working together, making some things happen. And I am really happy to be part of this, let me tell you. All right, Lukas Verner breaking in rack number 3, leading 2-0. I see Rosie Love in the chat. Wow, 17, you go. Yes, this young man right here is only 17 years old. And let me tell you, he is turning into a monster on the pool table. You know, a lot of times when you have a player that's as young as Lukas here, you know, they don't think of things, you know, younger players like Lukas do not think of things in the same way as an adult player would, or someone that's been involved in pool for that long. And it's really just the same as, you know, a younger child being involved with, you know, like they walk down the street, they see a tree, an adult, they just say, oh, there's a stupid tree, who cares? And a kid would look at it and say, hey, you know what, maybe I could climb to the top of that and see something cool and, you know, hang upside down or something. Like they just they're a little more open-minded, and they're not as I don't want to say tainted, but they're just not as tainted by like the ugliness of a lot of things in the world. And they don't realize certain things like just missing, for example. I mean, sometimes a kid doesn't have to know that missing is an option. You don't have to miss, and that's definitely going to help someone. Um, also, the kid being so young, um, he's going to have a lot of stamina and energy, and he'll be able to outlast a lot of the older players. Wow, that was a fantastic execution there. Look at that right there. That thing is frozen on the 6. Somebody get the magnifying glass, make sure that 6 doesn't move. Very, very close call. Nice try by Steve Mack, but was not able to contact the 1. Ball in hand to Lukas Verner. Lukas is going to take a peek at what the 3 ball does. Nonetheless, I like Lukas here. I got to say, right now, I'm looking at Lukas's facial expressions, and he seems very, very calm. He doesn't seem like, over anxious or anything like that. He's kind of just relaxed, and I don't want to say he's not usually like that, but he's sometimes a little more emotional. And I got to say, if he can maintain this relaxed composure that he has right now, I know he's going to do well in this event and obviously in more events. But, just having no visible emotions is definitely beneficial. And he's looking pretty calm right now. So that's definitely going to help him out. Got to avoid the scratch here. Hang on. And he's going to get it just right. Great shot, Lukas Verner. Keeping Steve Mack on the wrong side of the ball. Now Steve's going to try to kick into this ball. I say it was definitely going to be a 2-rail attempt. Not sure where he was looking to leave that 4 ball, but right in front of the pocket, probably not his first choice. You see Lukas removing his sweatshirt, revealing that lovely Yale Billiards polo. That is his homeroom, and he represents that room quite well. Lukas looking to pocket this 4 ball top corner. He does. Now this situation here, that 9 ball is massive. Really got to avoid that 9 ball getting on your 7 here. And I'm not sure what Lukas did there, but that was definitely just a quick lapse in judgment, and he went really fast getting down on that shot. Definitely can't agree with that. But he did open the door for Steve Mack, and Steve is a very, very competitive player. He's been around for a very long time, and you can't allow someone like Steve Mack to get back to the table. You got a 2-0 lead. You really got to make sure you hold on to that. Take another game. There was no reason Lukas had to give that game back, but unfortunately he did. So we're gonna see Steve Mack taking a game there. It's now 2-1, and we're gonna see Steve Mack breaking in rack number 4. Again, this is a winner side match. It's a race to 7. Race to 7. Please make sure you guys support our sponsors right there. Classic Signs in Coventry. And we've also got MD Promotions, the New England 9-Ball Series. Both very big supporters of this stream right here. Also, we have Checkered Flag Landscaping, helping in the Rhode Island area. Contact them at that number right there. Also, Outsville, donating those lovely racks for us today. And Player Organized Pool. That is the system we are using today. Offers online brackets, live scoring, and will send you a text message to your phone and let you know when you're up, what table you are playing on, and who your opponent is. All right, now Steve successfully pocketed his wing ball. Definitely a good sign. Definitely a good sign. As we were talking about earlier, it's been tough for some of the players to figure out a break that works, especially coming onto this table from another table. This one is just a hair different in a lot of different ways. But you really got to get the break working at this level of play. It's just a huge, huge factor. He was looking to come a little bit deeper into that angle there, and you know, that was just a lapse on the speed control there. I'd like to see him maybe play a 2-rail safe here, but I think he's going to try to roll behind the 4, and that's what he does. Yeah, I don't really agree with the execution there. He really needed to try to make that a little bit tighter. Lukas has got a clear shot at the 2 ball. I can see the intensity in Steve's face right now. He's trying to get comfy here. He lost the first 2 games, got fortunate. Lukas scratched shooting the 6, gave him a 3 ball out with ball in hand. That was really fortunate. It's not going to happen all the time. So you can really see the intensity on Steve's face saying, all right, I really need to get this done here. And Steve's a very, very capable player, to be honest. Very, very capable. I've seen him perform very well in some of the New England Joss events. He's done pretty well there. Not sure his normal finish there, but I personally have seen him come 5th, 6th in a pretty large field, so that's something notable for sure. Let's see what he's looking at right there. He's looking to just kind of stop the ball, maybe draw just a hair. To stay under the 5 to shoot it in the side. You want to have a good angle shooting to get up the table for that 6 when you are on the 5. So he's looking to just draw just a hair, maybe 6 inches or so. And he elected to go forward. Maybe that was just comfort for the shot. He's gonna be coming around the table here. Now he's drawing this here. Yeah, that was not advisable there. I mean, granted, you know, definitely a makeable shot, but you didn't need to do that in that situation. You know, if he was able to just draw just a hair to be on the proper side of the 5, getting up table for that 6 ball would have been a lot easier versus having to plug the ball at that velocity. So Lukas has a shot, but he's not sure how he wants to execute. If he was a hair closer to the 6 or maybe a little higher, probably more towards that chalk on the table, he might be splitting them, trying to get the 6 under the 7. And he elects to just play the 2-way shot there. You know, I think he might have been 100% safe there. It looked like he was entertaining the side pocket, but it's possible he was just playing all safe there. If you're just tuning into the stream here, please, we appreciate all the shares we can get. Want to make sure everybody can view these matches. Taking a quick flyer at the 9, almost making it, but he's going to give Lukas another opportunity here. Lukas just barely missing the bank. Going to give Steve the carom on the 9. I do not see him going for a clear bank on the 6 ball. He's going to carom off the side of the 6 ball and roll that 9 ball right in that corner. Got to hit it just right, though. You can't hit it in the face because it is against the rail. If you hit it right in the face, it might still just sit up. So you got to be really particular on the line that you're shooting the cue ball down here. I'll tell you what, Lukas didn't miss that bank by much, and I'm going to go ahead and say that that was a game winner right there because he's straight in on the 7 ball. Nice shape to get on the 9 ball, so this is going to be it right here. And he executes just well. And that's going to tie us up. It's going to put us at 2-2. There's a race to 7. And Lukas was leading 2-0. Now it is 2-2. Lukas unfortunately scratching in the corner, shooting the 6 ball in rack number 3. Gave Steve the opportunity to get back on the horse. And when he did so, Steve managed to take advantage and win 2 games in a row. Does not mean it's going to be all downhill, but when you win a game at this level of play, you're probably going to win an additional game at least. Always got to account for that. You say, hey, if I lose this game, I'm probably going to lose another. You know, it's just the way it works. You're giving up your serve. You're allowing the other player to have another opportunity. So. Steve really taking his time with that rack, making sure everything is proper. Again, folks, make sure you're sharing the stream. If you guys are listening, make sure you're sharing the stream. Definitely want to get lots and lots of folks tuning in. All right, here we go. Steve Mack. Breaking in rack number 5. Trying to bring up another view of the stream for myself over here. I want to make sure that everything's looking good for you guys. Again, if you are in the chat, please let us know. How do we sound? How does it look? Is everything coming through clear? Whatever you got to say, we want to hear. I got the chat back up now. So Steve elects to play safe executed pretty well there. But again, Lukas able to execute a return shot with the block, and that was strictly because Steve was not able to stick him on the ball. And we talk about that a lot, about safety play and the level of your safe. You know, you can't just say, "Oh, I'm going to leave a ball blocking it." I mean, that's not really good enough in a lot of ways. So, you know, you really got to just stick someone right on a ball in order to say, "Hey, you know what? I'm at an advantage here." And I'm going to say we may see a jump shot here. Not sure how Steve is with the jumps, but if he's not going to jump, he's definitely kicking up the table. Give you an idea of what he's looking at. Give you the overhead here. Wow, that was a very, very close call there. That was not far off. If that caromed into that 4-ball, that 8-ball was definitely in the hole, 100%. Okay, got the chat up here. Sounds great, looks great. Thanks, Bart. Stream looks good, sound is good. Thank you, Mark. Jake Raquel, everything is coming in perfect. All right, great to hear. Great, great, great. Fantastic. Another opportunity for Steve. He does have a shot at that 3-ball over. Not sure if he's going to be able to bank or maybe carom the 8 just like that. And that's what he does. Definitely no clear shot to the corner. However, he's got a couple of options here. I think I might be thinning the 3-ball, sending the cue ball behind the 9-ball. Not really sure what he's comfortable doing here. But again, there are definitely lots of options. If you get the table speed down, I think you play the shot I mentioned, but he might be just trying to back cut it into the corner here. If he's got that shot in his arsenal, go ahead. And he does execute that. Not the greatest position on the 4-ball, but hey, he is at the table still. Still at the table. And he would have to make another pretty strong shot here, shooting this to the top right corner to stay on the offense. And he's looking at it right now, so that's what he's going to take as his first option. Not sure what he has as a second option. I mean, you could try to get the 4-ball to bank up table, leaving Lukas behind the 7 or the 5. But it's really hard to maintain something like that. You know, you leak it out just a bit, and you know, you got a kid like Lukas coming up. Not a good situation to be in. So looks like he's just going to go all on the offensive. And he's going to hang that 4-ball. We see that Yale Billiards shirt, one of the new Yale Billiards designed shirts. Definitely cool stuff. Congratulations again, Bobby Hilton, on the new Yale Billiards. Looks great, dude. Can't wait to get out there. Yale Billiards definitely produces some amazing talent in this game, let me tell you. From this kid right here, Lukas Verner, Phil Davis, Rob Pierce, Tim Levine. I mean, there's a ton of great players that play out of there. So if you're ever in Wallingford, Connecticut, go check them out. Got a lot of talent in the room. Lucas looking to double this one here. A little funny, but I believe Lucas has this shot. Lucas has this here. She's going to cut it right over to the corner there. I really like that he cut up. I did not like him getting down that fast. Very well executed. Nice shot, Lukas Verner. Going up 3-2 in our race to 7. Again, we want to make sure we're checking out these sponsors right here. They are helping support what we are doing for you right here. Got Classic Signs in Coventry, Rhode Island. Got a lot of nice services that they offer, from vehicle wraps to all kinds of signage. I mean, you name it, they can do it. They also, I wasn't aware of this till recently, they actually do like shirts and apparel, things like that, so they can help you with promotional materials and whatnot. But anything that has to do with graphics and printing, indoor, outdoor, you name it, large format, they can do anything for you. And also the New England 9-ball series, that's Mark Dion in the and company, and they do lots of great events in the New England area. They got something coming up next weekend over at Straight Shooters. Lukas Verner with a monstrous break. 8-ball's got to get out of the way, and I don't think it did. That 1-ball did not look like it got out of the way. Not sure if the carom is available from that angle. If the cue ball was more towards the 3-ball, like more to the right of your screen, I would say go ahead with it, but it really depends on what he thinks is able to be accomplished. And that ball just wasn't makeable, to be honest. I mean, I think he just wanted it to be makeable, but I don't think that was the case, to be honest. So I did get an update on the previous match we were talking about, the Mike DeShane versus Tom D'Alfonso. I seen Tommy Shorty. I seen him just before this match began. I said, "Hey, how'd you make out with Mike?" And he said, "Dude, I got out of my chair twice." He's like, "Mike played like perfect." So Shorty lost that game. Mike was able to win that one 7-0. Shorty said he only shot like twice, and it wasn't a good side of a ball. So sometimes when you're playing at that top level, though, I mean, that's what can happen. Nice attempt there by Steve. I think he's going to leave him a clear shot directly into the corner, and he does. All Lucas really needs to do is just stop the ball. If he needs to draw it just a hair for comfort, that's okay too, but you don't really want to move the cue ball too much. See, that could have gotten very funny. Just even a quarter-inch more, and he could have been behind the 6. He's just a hair behind it. So that's going to change the way that he actually has to execute this shot here. So he can definitely make the 3. But he's going to actually masse and hope that he can hit it in a way where the cue ball rolls forward. He elected to go the opposite way, trying to come back above the 8-ball. You see safe play here. Got to look out that 4 doesn't turn into a 4-9 combination. But very, very risky shot there. Almost scratching, but nonetheless just leaving an open shot. Steve isn't a favorite to make this ball and get out. I expect to see at least one additional safe from him. But he may be able to shoot this towards the side pocket and play it kind of two ways, keeping the cue ball underneath that 7-8-6. But actually played the bank shot. That's okay. I like that shot. Nicely done, Steve Mack. Tim Schroeder tells someone tell Lukas he's getting a little thin on top. That's just the lights. The lights make everyone look that way from a particular angle. If you guys have never seen the setup here at Snookers, there are these gigantic fixtures directly above this live stream table that allow us to have this great view and all the lighting for you here. And it really does, it makes everyone look like there's a little thin here and there. So I don't think it's the kid. Looking like Steve's going to tie it up 3-3, pending any funny business on this 9-ball. And he's going to come a hair shorter than he wanted, but very, very capable of making the shot here. Nothing too funny here. Rosie Love in the chat. You're looking for Jose Concepcion, and he is playing a match right now. He is down 2 games right now, but Jose is very, very capable. I know he's a talented player, so and there you go. Steve Mack taking rack number 6, tying it up 3-3. And this is a race to 7, folks. Race to 7. I want to make sure you guys are supporting our sponsors here. Classic Signs out of Coventry, Rhode Island. All of your sign needs, vehicle wraps, indoor, outdoor, large printing. They do T-shirts, all kinds of different things. And also the New England 9-ball series. We got this one coming to you next weekend at Straight Shooters in Fall River. It's going to be a good one, let me tell you. It's got a secondary 10-ball event, which is limited, and that's on Sunday. There's $250 added to that one and $750 to the main event this coming weekend. So definitely check that out. Big supporters of this live stream here, and we appreciate their support very much so. All right, Steve Mack breaking in rack number 7, tied up at 3-3, race to 7. We got a good match here, guys. This is a really good match. I'm enjoying this one. One little tip in the wrong direction, and the other guy wins the game. You know, we're not seeing a lot of funny misses and whatnot. These guys are playing pretty tight. Doesn't have a clear shot at the 1-ball. Well, clear pocket, rather. I expect to see him play some defense here. Not sure what he's comfortable with. Not sure if he can actually back cut it enough to roll the cue ball down behind the 7 and the 4. It looks like he might just go too flat into it, so he's going to look at a lot of different options here. Not really sure what he's comfortable with. But it does look like that is the ideal shot that you'd like here. You'd want to be able to back cut the 1-ball and 2-rail position, try to safe. I mean, it would be great to get it over near the 3-ball. That would be ideal. And that's where you see him standing right now. If he's able to get it over there, that's great. These rails are pretty fast, so you got to be really particular with your safety play. He was able to thin the 1-ball. And he is going to get the 4 and the 7 as blockers. That was the proper shot. That was definitely proper. Lukas taking 2.7 seconds to look at it and execute it. And he's going to leave a wide open shot at the 1 ball directly into the hole. Offers very easy position to the 3 ball. Not really too much to do here. Nicely done there. I'm going to say as long as the 8 ball passes the 9, which I'm not sure if it does, if the 8 ball passes the 9, this rack is a lot easier. But in any case, a player like Steve or Lukas should be able to finish this rack out from its current position. Bobby Hilton in the chat, slow down, kid. Yes, absolutely. Got to slow down, be a little bit more deliberate with what you're kicking at there. Lukas has the ability. Sometimes he just goes a little quick. You know, a lot of people do that sometimes. But yeah, it seems like he's in a hurry because he's like, you know, he's bored with it. He's like, hey, I already know these shots. What the heck? I know how to hit this. Watch this. Bang. And he fires it. But got to get a little bit more deliberate with what you're executing there. He knows he can hit it. But eventually those things will definitely come to him. He will learn. He will learn how to take care of that. And he won't go as fast. Just eyeing up one of the matches on one of our neighboring tables. Just had to mention one of the rules that we implemented here. It's a ship to cash. It's a ship to cash rule. But while your opponent is shooting, you gotta sit down in its chair. You gotta sit down, be still, and you know, we have a few members on the staff today, but if someone doesn't recognize something, you got to point it out. That it changes everything about the match. It really does. So, you know, no excuses. That's the ship to cash way, and you know, we don't want any excuses. So somebody standing at the table while you're shooting, that can be distracting. You can blame them and say, hey, well, they distracted me. If they were sitting down, being quiet, no excuses. There's no excuse. So it's just a miss or a make. And that was a very unfortunate scratch and miss from Steve Mack. And it looks like the kid is ready to take another game here. And he is starting to pick up his pace. And, you know, not for nothing, the kid can execute at this pace, but very funny things can happen when you're playing at that speed. So here we go. Lukas Verner taking another one, taking the lead 4-3 in our race to 7. Folks, we are at the halfway point. We're about to move into rack number 8. Folks, one more time, got to give a shout right here. The New England 9-ball series, that is coming up next week. Got to make sure you get over there, straight shooters. All right, Lukas Verner breaking in rack number 8. Fires at the rack, does not get the same result as last time. And this is really going to be Lukas battling to get a good position here now, because Steve doesn't have an out table. He's not going to attempt to run out here, but he, you know, he's going to play safe here. But this is really just going to be Lukas fighting to get an advantage here. He played that multiple ways there. He was playing it, so he had the option of possibly making the one ball on the side with that bank shot, but he did block if he missed, which he did, and he also kept his position on the 2 ball. So definitely a good shot from Steve Mack. I really appreciate Lukas taking his time now. He's been going a little bit quicker, but this kid can execute pretty much anything. And you can see the disappointment on his face. He says, "What did I do there?" You know, when things like that happen, that's usually when it's time to say, you know what, I think I may need to take a break. All players in this event are allowed to take 1 5-minute break max, and you have to do it on your turn at the table. You know, both players can agree to go at the same time if they choose, but we prefer it's just one player at a time. You get your own 5 minutes, and it's got to be when it's your turn at the table. So your opponent is not shooting. It's not their turn. You can go to the bathroom, do what you got to do. You come back, it's still your turn. If your opponent chooses to take their break directly after that, that's fine. But we prefer everyone gets their own 5-minute break, and it's done on your turn specifically. Player taking the break has to be on their turn. Steve caught a little bit of the point of the jaw of that corner pocket there, and it made it so he stayed a little bit lower on the 4 ball. He wanted to come a little higher there, but still able to execute, but it's definitely going to change things. And Lukas is going to be kicking here. You know, if Lukas takes his time here and makes sure he's got that line, I like Lukas to make this shot here. Lukas is a pretty firm kicker. Now, he is taking a break here. He is taking a break. However, sometimes the break is more advisable when you are in an advantageous position versus just, you know, you're kicking at a ball here. You always want to come back when you're, you know, you're in a good spot and you're ready to finish and win the game. We are at the 14th annual Larry Lascotti 9-ball event. Paying homage to a great man, great player, legend of the game. And you're trying to do him right. Got Larry's son in the room, Lance Lascotti, another great player. Also a gentleman. Love having Lance around. Never out of line. I've never seen him out of line as far as you know, doing the right thing and whatnot. So very respectable person there. John Marlin, when you gotta go, you gotta go. Yeah. Yeah, Lukas might have had to use the bathroom, and you know, sometimes that actually is a factor. I'm sure we've all been in a match, and you know, you have the urge that you got to go. You're like, oh, I'll just finish this rack, and then next thing you know, you're finishing the rack and you're racking, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna break. I'll just play this one out too, and sometimes you find yourself rushing a bit, and that's definitely not helpful at all. You know, definitely can cause that urgency about everything. And again, folks, make sure you're checking out Classic Signs. That is their web address right there, classicsignsri.com. They have incredible work. I'm going to check out some of their stuff right here. Check it out.
30 years of experience, Classic Signs. State-of-the-art equipment and premium materials produce long-lasting results. Call us at Classic Signs today to ensure you stand out in the crowd. Let Classic Signs help put your vehicle to work. Custom Design and professional installation technicians transform simple transportation into effective mobile advertising. You are losing money every day your name is not on a vehicle. Call us at Classic Signs today.
There you have it, Classic Signs. Definitely a professional company. They can do anything you can dream of as far as signs, graphics, vehicle wraps, you name it. They are your company. I tell you what, it's a pretty cool thing when you got your own company and you got that vehicle wrap. I mean, you're really like selling yourself short there. I mean, if you can afford to get that done, your company's going to be advertised 24/7 with that vehicle. And I mean, I think it looks cool too. To be honest, I think it looks cool with vehicles wrapped up. I spent some time down south in Miami, and a lot of the vehicles they have down there are wrapped up just like that, and it's just awesome. Really draws some attention. And Lukas missing the kick. Now, I don't want to say that was wrong to shoot it that way, but I kind of liked him going the other way with the kick, only because it kind of sends the cue ball out towards the 5. I guess that wasn't so bad. Guess that wasn't so bad as far as his option to kick that way, but I think he was a little bit too conscious of that second rail contact, and he knew he was going to play it 2 rails, but I think he needed to hit it a little bit closer to the pocket to get there. So we're hoping that he can rebound from that. Nonetheless, he is in the lead, leading by 1 game right now. Steve over-rolling just a bit with that 6 ball. Back cutting it into the side. Good position on the 7. Just going to bump off the rail there. And a little draw stroke, just like that. And he's a little straighter than he would like, but he can play into that rail and send it towards the 9. Just like that. And pending an earthquake, I think Steve Mack's going to tie it up at 4-4. And he does, wiping its feet on the way in. However, it still falls. So there you go. Steve Mack tying it up 4-4 in our race to 7. And again, we are at the 14th annual Larry Lascotti Memorial 9-ball event. We've got just under 80 players today. There's 70-something players, not sure the exact number. But lots of good players in the room. This is a seeded event. So all of these players here, from the pros at the top all the way down to the Ds at the bottom of the bracket. So we're going to see lower level players making it deep in the event for sure. And I think that's a cool way to do it. It's nice to change things up sometimes. I know everybody's got their particular perfect way to to run an event and whatever, but in this case, Lance, Larry's son Lance, he had a lot to say with that. Excuse me one sec, folks. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry about that. Just making sure everything is clean on the other side. Steve Mack shooting the 2 to the side, sliding over for 3. This is pretty standard. Not sure how he wants to do this. He may roll with some outside to contact the 6. Looks like he's going to do. No, he played the inside, trying to go above the 5 ball there. And it's close enough to the hole where he can still pocket this. He's going to send him way away from the 6 ball. And I'll tell you, when you get to a level like these guys here, sometimes it looks like they played bad shape, and it may have been, but they're willing to accept some of those shots. Steve looked a little bit confused there. I'm not sure if he had an equipment failure or whatever, but he looked very confused at the outcome of that shot. So, hey, we got Chelsea Medeiros in the chat. What's up, Chelsea, baby? As my lovely other half. We were talking about her earlier. We will be at the Super Billiards Expo this year. So come on over and say hi to us. Jamie Moniz, what's up, my man? Lukas looking to take another 1-game lead here. And it makes its way into the hole. Lukas Verner up 5 games to 4 in our race to 7. Now, if you folks remember, at the beginning of this match, Lukas was leading 2-0. Had an unfortunate scratch on the 6 ball, giving Steve ball in hand with just 7, 8, 9 on the table. Steve won those 2 games and has managed to keep the game pretty close since then. So definitely need to remember, when you're playing good pool, you can't give those opportunities. Jamie Moniz, are they having the huddle tournament tonight? Yes, that is going down. Some of the folks that are being eliminated from here, I'm sure they'll probably head up there. There's some folks playing in the state qualifier today also. That's over at the huddle in EP at a 9-ball tournament. I'm usually the host there, but that is going down tonight. And you got DJ Super Mario filling in for me, and he does a fantastic job. I will tell you firsthand. I am very particular about who I work with and that type of thing. And Mario's definitely someone I can count on. He does a great job. He's got experience with the equipment and whatnot, so it's kind of a clear choice, to be honest. Awesome, Jamie. Glad to see that you're going to be there tonight. Give everybody a shout for me. Wow, that actually turned out okay. I believe Lukas has this. Combination. It really depends on if there's a space there or not. If there's no space between them, I'm not liking this shot. If there is a space, I like Lukas to be able to execute here. And that looked pretty good. Come on, Lukas. Hold on to your speed. Stay up. There it is. Just got to focus here, bud. As you can see by pocketing balls like that one right there, I mean, Lukas has unbelievable ability. It's just he's got a lot of just distractions to fade. I mean, the kid can make pretty much anything. It was a great shot. I don't know. Lucas is going to be cutting the 8 ball right by the 9 ball here. We're going to see him fire this ball here. He executes. Now these shots are not cut and dry. I mean, these are not high percentage shots that Lucas is executing. That was a fantastic out. Nice job, Lukas Verner, taking us to the hill on his side. We got 6-4. Lukas Verner leading in our race to 7. And Lucas is within 1. And folks, make sure you check out the sponsors that you see right there on your screen. They are big supporters of what we're doing here and also supporters of this event. Classic Signs. They are out of Coventry, Rhode Island. And also MD Promotions, the New England 9-Ball Series. Lots and lots of events from them throughout New England. Check them out. All right, here we go. Lukas Verner breaking. He is on the hill. See if he can execute that wing ball, and he does. Wow, this is going to look pretty good. Get away from that 7 ball. I'll tell you what, Lucas has a tough decision here. I mean, my opinion anyhow. Very, very, very tough decision because he's able to execute this. It's very, very close to that 7 ball. If that 7 ball moves while he's shooting, then that is a foul ball in hand, and that 3-9 looks pretty easy. So. Got to be very clear on your execution here. Wow, fantastic shot. Looking to make this combination. He misses the combination. Misses the combination. Still in control, as Steve does not have a very good very good shot here. He's going to be looking to pocket the 3 ball. Misses the 3 ball. Looking like it's going to scratch. It does. Lucas is coming to the table on the hill. He's got an open table. 5 to the 6 is a little bit tricky. I mean, they're on opposite ends of the table, and the 6 is on the rail, so it's not like it's just sitting in front of the hole. So not really difficult, but you do want to get somewhat straight on it because the 7's right next to it. So it's not just, 1, 2, 3, you're out. You got to focus here. Got to really make sure you get, yep, that's the line he's pointing at right there. You really got to make sure that you get kind of flat on the 6 ball here. You don't want to be shooting down at that top rail. Then you'd have to make the cue ball travel quite a bit. So it's really about the speed right here. If he can get good on the 6, he's fine. Now, he got a little sharper than he would like. He may elect to go up and down. Otherwise, he's going to be rolling this with some inside English. You can see him taking his time. This is not easy for position. The shot is very makeable, but rolling this is very difficult with the inside. So Lucas elected to stroke the heck out of that, and he's going to give this game back to Steve. I do not agree with that. I think think maybe he just needed to just hit that a little bit softer. Just accept the longer shot at the 7. At least you can maintain control of the rack. But he's going to let him back into the set, and we don't want that. You know, when you're on the positive side of the game, you just got to close it out. You're on the hill. You can't take a flyer like that and allow a player like Steve to get back in. Steve's going to get a little high on the 9 ball, but nonetheless, he can just pocket this right in the side pocket. And he does. And Lukas coughing up another game for Steve Mack. And we're in a race to 7 at 6-5 in favor of Lukas Verner. Checking out the folks in the chat. Vance DeLeon. What's up, Georgie D? I'm not sure how to pronounce that name there. Gothaman Karunanidi. Something like that. Nice commentary, clear and good. Thank you, sir. Or ma'am. Not sure. Thank you very much, either way. See the cash cow just jumped in there. Rich Senna, what's up, my man? Not sure if you have your sound on, but hopefully you can pop in later on. Come say what's up to some of the guys. Love to see you. All right, here we go. Steve Mack breaking in rack number 12. He is within 2. Lukas Verner on the hill. There's a race to 7. He's breaking from the side. Wing ball flies in. He's got the 5 ball on the side. Clear shot at the 1. Little bit of contesting with that 8 ball, blocking a very easy position for the 2 ball. However, if we go to our overhead here, you can see he might have enough to actually draw behind where the 7 is, but I don't know. He's looking like he wants to roll forward. There's a lot more room back down there. Looks like he wants to roll it forward. And he does. Rolls a little bit too far forward. I see that person named Gothaman. I hope I'm saying that right. Sir. Okay, sir. I'm just going to call you sir. Sorry about that. Trouble with your name there. So Steve has a clear shot at this 2 ball. Got to contest with the side pocket if he's intending on going back up the table. I mean, he's looking straight. He just looks straight down into the side pocket and said, "Oop, got to look out for that thing." So you see Steve try to execute this shot right here. Thin cut. He's going forward. Nicely done. Plays it with the inside. That was why you wanted to play that with the inside. It's definitely the way you want to do it. The old saying, draw for show, follow for dough. If you can have a pretty clear decision forward versus, rolling the ball forward versus drawing the ball, it's definitely a better option to go forward. It's definitely going to help you out there. The ball's already going in that direction, and it's just a more advisable. Steve Mack looking to tie it up. Well, he looks like he's going to be drawing this ball, and he hangs it there. Now, from that position there, now it may sound funny to some of you guys there, but I kind of liked going forward there. You play the inside English, you come 2 rails underneath the 7, shoot the 7 up in the corner, and you don't have to really jerk the cue so much. Lukas looking good on the 7. There it is. Close to the rail, but nothing to be afraid of. Here it goes. Lukas Verner for the win. And there it is. Lukas Verner over Steve Mack, 7 games to 5. Very nicely done. All right, so I am going to find out who is coming up next on this stream. I don't know who it's going to be, but we're going to get that information for you and be back with you in just a few. So please stay tuned. Actually, you know what? We just came up on the 4-hour mark, and Facebook does limit us to 4 hours of stream time. So I am going to have to refresh that stream. So make sure you guys go back to the Snookers Live Facebook page. And we're going to have that up for you in just about 10 minutes. I just want to make sure that we don't have any dead time on there. So just about 10 minutes, you'll see the new post. And we will be right back with you. So stay tuned. We'll see you shortly.